Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Thursday, May 14th, 2026. So, on a day that if it was in February would be Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Did you fall in love with today's crossword?
I liked it.
Good.
I liked it. I learned a new word.
Let me guess. The new word you learned was... Oh, no. Now the pressure's on. Oh, I know what it was. 11 down. Prolifically posting about one's kids online in a neologism, SHARENTING.
No, I knew that.
Really?
I'd heard that.
That was a surprise to me. Can I guess another one?
Sure, if you want.
All right, pressure's on here. Let's see here. Okay, I know. One across. Cliff formed by a fault. Scarp.
Scarp.
Yes.
Yes, no, I'd never heard of that.
I've heard the word escarpment, and I figured that was somehow related, but I did not know it off the top of my head. I wonder if sometimes people like climb to the top of a scarp and then they scarf some food.
They could.
Yeah, they could scarf on the scarp.
Scarf on the scarp.
Possibly while wearing a scarf.
You could
Yes.
put a little restaurant up there, and that's what you call it. Scarf on the scarp.
Scarf on a scarf on a scarp while wearing a scarf. Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, yes. We definitely have to trademark that.
Mm-hmm.
So this was a chemically themed crossword
It was.
in a way.
In a way, yes. A pretty common chemical theme.
Yes.
But yes, there were a number of circled squares, and they always formed the same pattern. There was one circled square with a dark circle, black square below it, and then on either side of that black square, there were circled squares. And the interesting thing was there were little lines connecting the circles.
Yes, that was rare.
In each case. Yes, that's very different. So, as it turned out, each one of these circled square configurations was actually a chemical diagram. And the chemical that was diagrammed in each case was H2O. So it was all about water.
Mm-hmm.
And in the top circle, there was always an O if you answered the puzzle correctly. And then in the bottom two that were on either side of the black square, they were both H's.
Right.
So once you figured that out, you knew a lot of the squares. You could put in the O's and the H's to help you. However, there was more to it than that, because those H's kind of were a stand-in for the word water. So the answer to the clue that had an H either at the end of it or the beginning, instead of having H, you just had to know that H stood for water. So, for example, the first one was at 19 across, prime breeding environment for mosquitoes. And the answer to that was standing, and then an H from the H2O, so it was standing water. And I suppose you could read it as standing H2O, because you have H connected to an O connected to an H. But anyway, that's how you had to answer the puzzle.
Right.
Wherever you saw the H, you knew that denoted the word water. Then the other H in that first configuration was 20 across, impression on some fancy sheets. And the answer to that was watermark. But of course, it was just H in a circle, and then the word mark afterwards. So that was the theme.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see what we have. We had 24 across. At sea say was on the water. 27 across was powerful fireboat gear, and that was water cannons. Then we also had 43 across gets bloated say, and that's retains water. And then the next one was 45 across, pair for a pool. That was water wings. We had 48 across, what collects in a puddle, and that was rain water. And then finally 49 across, things often getting free refills, and that was water pitchers.
Right.
So that was the theme, all about water,
Yes.
denoted by its chemical configuration H2O.
Or HOH.
Or HOH,
as
you can see it in the puzzle.
As we chemically unsophisticates like to say.
Right.
Ho.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
I wonder what chemical or compound they can do next.
I don't know.
They've done water. Maybe they could do sugar, C6H12O6, I seem to recall. That might be a little bit more complicated.
Yes,
Like the entire grid would be given up to one chemical.
Maybe salt, NaCl. We've had that as an answer.
That would be good, yes.
But you could do something maybe with that. Old salt, or salt of the earth.
Or maybe they could do the nucleus and they could have the electrons going around it as E's.
Oh, well, perhaps.
Oh, the possibilities are just endless.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And we'd like to thank Simeon Siegel for getting us started to think about this.
He always gives you a good puzzle.
Yes, he has done 20 crosswords, 20 puzzles, of which 15 were Thursdays. So this is definitely his favorite day.
Uh-huh.
I did find this to be a little bit more difficult than usual because I had to sort of figure out the theme.
It was a Thursday, so yeah. Mm-hmm. But one we had to look up. I did this with our daughter, but 4 down. We got the right answer, but we didn't understand it. But September to April in the oyster industry. And the answer was RMONTHS.
Yes.
And September to April are the R month, or
right.
It's actually April to September. April, May, June, July, and August.
No.
I'm sorry. Yes, those are the non-R months.
Right.
But yeah, September through April are the R months.
Yes.
And I guess those are the months you're supposed to eat oysters.
I think the idea is that the other months it's not safe to eat oysters.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But that was, as a non-oyster eater, I don't like oysters. I didn't know that.
I sometimes eat oyster crackers, but I eat them all throughout the year. I don't wait till October.
I don't think those will hurt you.
I ate some in
the non-R months.
I ate some in June and survived.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, when I got that answer, I was like, R months, come on, that can't be right.
Yeah, and it was. So that's why that was actually the last thing we put in R. We had months, and we had SCA blank P for the scarp.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're like, oh gosh, what can it be? And I put a letter in it, it didn't work. And then our daughter just went over and hit the R. And so she kind of knew, I think, about R months being a chef and all.
Mm-hmm.
So
tag team crossword solving.
That's right.
Especially, if you're even manipulating the keyboard together, that's pretty impressive. Each one of you can do one letter and an answer.
Uh-huh.
Now, I put down scarp on the basis of escarpment, and that turned out to be right. But when I was looking at that, I didn't quite believe it. And there were a few places where I had a mistake, I was eventually able to hunt them down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I appreciated 3 down. Palindrome on an Italian restaurant menu was alla.
Right.
And then we had 39 down. Palindrome on an Indian restaurant menu was naan.
That's right.
That was a neat
We knew the Italian was probably either alla or osso, because there's osso buco.
Right.
But there's a lot of a lot of things with alla in them. So that's probably the more common one.
And you needed that L for 13 across. My fault entirely. I wanted it to be my bad.
That's what we thought.
But my was in the clue, so we know it shouldn't show up in the answer.
Exactly.
It was all me.
That was the same logic we used.
Yes.
And turned out to be all me.
Beneath that, we had 16 across, feature that debuted on page 1 of the New York Times in 1997. Color photos.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe they had to wait till 1997 to perfect that.
Well, it does. It does. I'm surprised. And you think about all of the, major events that happened before that, like the moon landing and the JFK assassination. And, they're just a lot of things, big things. The march on Washington, anyway, it's just like, you think there would have been a color picture for some of those major events, but nope. Apparently not.
Well, of course, the New York Times is known as the old gray lady. I wonder if they had to revise that after 1997.
Yes.
Now we're the old colorful lady.
Right.
5 down was alternatives to hourly wages. I was sure that was going to be salaried.
Well, we tried to put
Really?
that in, yes.
It did fit. It was the right number of letters, but it turns out it was per diems.
Per diems, yes.
That was a bit of a surprise. And then 6 across, avoided a tag, say, slid.
Yes.
Did you get that right away?
We did.
You were thinking of baseball?
We were thinking of baseball, yes.
I was not. Right beneath that, 14 across, taste perception first identified in 1908, umami.
That's right.
It seems weird that how is it that they discovered a new taste? It's like, well, we discovered salt and, salty and sweet, but we suddenly discovered umami.
Well, I thought that was interesting. We figured that was the right answer. We figured of all the different tastes, that would probably have been one of the latter ones discovered. But, I guess you could, you taste, like on your tongue, you taste different sectors of your tongue taste sweet versus sour. So maybe they finally figured out, oh, your tongue is tasting something on this part, and they called it umami.
I just, it makes me wonder, is there some taste we haven't discovered yet?
Well, that's a good question.
Maybe if they do discover it, I hope they call it udadi. Umami, udadi. I think it would be great. I would also like to trademark that, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yep. When udadi is first invented, you could say that to your server at a restaurant. Hey, this thing tastes really udadi. Probably going to call security at that point.
Yeah. I kind of think maybe we've discovered all the taste.
I think there's one out there. There's probably just 3 taste buds. You have to land right on those taste buds. Gossip about informally 9 down was dish on.
Dish on.
Did you get that right away?
No.
I wanted to be spill the tea.
Well, that came to mind, but of course it didn't fit.
Right, no. We had 27 down. I guess this wasn't too bad. Travel by pickup, hitch.
Yep.
Sort of cute.
Yeah.
And then we had the delightful 29 down. Strains to hear, songs.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. Simeon deserves a round of applause for that one alone. And then 49 down, long lunch, hero.
Yes. I thought it would have to be like a sub or something. Yeah, so it turned out to be hero.
I mean, it did have the question mark after it.
Yes.
Always a good sign. That,
what I just thought, what's long that you eat for lunch? And it's got to be a sub sandwich.
Did you know 59 across? Heather Genus, that's also a woman's name, Erica?
No, I never heard that.
Do we have any Ericas out in the garden? Yeah, there's some lady named Erica wandering around, but no Heathers. It's interesting, Heather, of course, is a woman's name.
That's right.
And so, I wonder who was naming these things.
Yeah. And that kind of leads into 58 across. Origin of the words sky and scrape. Norse.
Right.
I thought that was interesting.
I went for Hindi. I don't know why, but it just sounded right. Sky and scrape.
Yeah.
And then they decided to put them together to get skyscraper.
Well, that's true. That's true. But I'm just like, well, what? I mean, those seem so very English words. What did people who spoke English call the sky or call getting a scrape? Before the Norse came and said it's sky and scrape.
I think they just ended the sentence. Hey, look at and that was it. And I got this on my knee. They just didn't say anything. They just
only the
bleeped
Norse
over
would come through as some words for these.
We had, 57 across was blank Friday. That was Gal Friday.
Gal Friday.
That did not come to me right away. Did it come to you?
Not right away, but I know I've heard that term before.
Yes. And 52 down, force through a food mill, rice.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't quite follow that. I mean, I know you can rice stuff.
Yes.
But I didn't know a food mill was involved.
Well, since we've never had a food mill, you probably haven't actually experienced that.
I'm right after this. I'm heading over to Amazon to try and get a food mill.
No, we don't need a food mill.
Will it fit in the house? That's what I mean. Is it one of these, 3-story high with turning blades?
No.
Sort of food mill.
It's just like a little steel bowl with a sieve bottom, and then there's blades that you put in it and on a handle, and you just run that handle around and around and around, and that's a food mill.
It sounds like something that might show up in a horror movie as well.
No. It's not dangerous at all.
Well, in a horror movie, they'd figure out a way to make it dangerous.
It's so small. I mean, you couldn't hardly fit any body part in it to.
Maybe
the blade is not that sharp.
You could throw it at someone. World's worst horror film. Someone gets a ricer thrown at them.
When I was a little girl, we had a huge garden with lots of tomatoes, and we would make everything with tomato juice, tomato sauce, tomato spaghetti sauce,
tomato
ketchup, everything. And that was my job, was to turn that food mill around.
Wow.
But after we cooked the tomatoes, then I had to rice them, I guess.
And how many revolutions did it take before you discovered the need for an electric motor?
Yeah.
It's like, is there some other way to do this?
Yeah, a blender would have been nice about that.
Right. Okay. Well, this was a great crossword by Simeon Siegel.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it was a nice chemical theme going on there.
Yep.
And that is it for today. So thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll be back again with our in-depth, cutting-edge analysis of tomorrow's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.